Hey, Mammoth fans, Tusks up, and welcome into another Utah Mammoth Daily episode. So let's kick things off with the Mammoth getting 11 nationally televised games. Majority of them are on ESPN Plus, so take the nationally part with a grain of salt. But that is a tick up from last season, so that's really encouraging news that the league, as well as TNT and ESPN, believe that there is a market here for those nationally televised games. I do also want to dovetail that into saying that the televised games are against established NHL franchises. And when I say established NHL franchises, I mean the big boys: Colorado, Detroit, Toronto, the big ones, and then Vegas as well, with that budding rivalry that I want to have be a rivalry. I want Utah to be successful enough that the games against the Knights aren't always blowouts and that it's an actual rivalry. So that's one thing I'm hoping for. So the first one that Utah will be nationally televised on is ESPN Plus against San Jose on October 17th. That's the second home game for the Mammoth. The first one obviously being against the Calgary Flames on October 15th, but the one that's on ESPN proper is going to be October 21st at home against the Avalanche. Nathan MacKinnon, Cale Makar coming in to face off against a hopefully vastly improved Utah Mammoth team. And when I say vastly, I mean playoff ready Utah Mammoth team, because Colorado is a playoff team. They're among the best in the division, top two. So that'll be very fun to watch as well. So looking forward to this season. There's going to be more eyeballs on the Utah Mammoth, and not just on television, but the Delta Center upgrades are almost done as we get closer and closer to the season. Obviously, those are going to be very important to have finished, but the retractable steel girder, like awesome futuristic seats that are going to be coming into the Delta Center are almost finished on one end of the ice or the court. It's going to be adding a ton of seats. It's going to be adding 6,000 seats this year, just about. So it'll be 17,000 seats for Utah Mammoth fans to watch these games as we move along. So that's going to be really fun to see. And then the Utah Jazz fans as well will be getting some seats from 18,000 to about 19,000. And that's just one end. That's the first part. The next part is going to be getting the other end. I believe it's the south end. That's going to be worked on next. And that will also get those cool retractable seats that will be coming through. So I'm very excited to see what's going to go on there. But more eyeballs can only be good. I went to a few games last season and it was so loud. It was so much fun. And just getting more people in there to enjoy the games, I can't even imagine how loud the Delta Center is going to be getting. And I do know that on television, they do say Delta Center, but growing up in Utah, it's the Delta Center. So that's what I'm going to be calling it, and that's what it should be called. Not Delta Center here at Delta Center. No, it's the Delta Center. So that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to how loud it's going to be, just the crazy Mammoth fans out there, and bringing in that new Ice Age. So there's going to be some breakout stars, right? We're going to be looking forward to seeing who is going to be on that breakout list. For me, those names you see on your screen there, Gunnar, Peterka, Dursey, they're all candidates. Peterka's not really a breakout. I mean, he'll be a breakout for Mammoth fans just because they haven't really seen him because he was with Buffalo, and nobody really sees Buffalo anymore. But I think that Sean Dursey, if he could stay healthy, he had that massive shoulder injury last year that made him miss like over half of the season. A healthy Sean Dursey is going to be awesome because he's a very good offensive defenseman with an awesome right-handed shot that is going to improve the offense of the Mammoth. And having somebody other than Sergachev being able to score goals from the blue line will be very welcome news for the rest of the team. I love the other defensemen, Oli Mata, John Marino, all of those guys. Even Kesselring when he was still with the team, but they weren't really offensive threats. So having Sean Dursey out there just to spell Sergachev when it comes to like power plays and stuff, I think will make this offense even more lethal. And with JJ Peterka, I mean, come on, the speed of the guy and the way that Utah plays the offense, it's 200 feet, right? That's what Coach Trigny always says. And having him on there with the speed that he has, he's always able to go from 0 to 100 miles an hour in like 2 seconds. And so seeing this team with Sean Dursey being able to score some goals is going to be awesome. And then Dylan Guenther, not much needs to be said about Gunner to us Utah Mammoth fans. He is clutch. He has an incredibly quick shot, And if he could stay healthy, he missed about 12 games last year. He's going to eclipse at least 30 goals this year, if not more, because less attention is going to be paid to him because of the addition of J.J. Peterka and the emergence and continued development of not only himself, but of guys like Logan Cooley and Clayton Keller. So Gunnar being another breakout candidate is going to be a pretty easy selection. I didn't really reach for any of these guys here for the breakout candidates, but it's really easy when a couple of guys miss some time and then there's a brand new guy coming in. That makes the breakout candidates especially easy for people like me. And so I really appreciate GM Bill Armstrong doing that for me. So shout out to Bill. And then lastly here, I've got my dream trade candidates. These are dreams. I don't expect any of these to happen, but these are my dreams. And so the dream trade players for Utah to go out and get, obviously Connor McDavid. Every team in the league wants Connor McDavid. So that's not really breaking news for anyone. And he's at the end of his contract, right? Edmonton and Connor McDavid are still talking about it. I do know that Connor McDavid and his team wanted to see what the Oilers were going to do to build around him and Leon Draisaitl, because they're as close to coming over the hump as you could possibly get, and they just couldn't beat the Panthers, which is fair because not really many people can beat the Panthers. So this offseason, the Oilers made some moves, but I don't know if Connor McDavid and his team were very impressed by them. I know a lot of people weren't, just like talking heads like myself. So that'll be an interesting scenario to look at. There are other teams that are going to be higher on McDavid's list, but it was interesting during the offseason just listening to different places like NHL.com, ESPN, all of those places, SB Nation, Bleacher Report. They were all saying Utah could be one of those spots for him to go. Now, nothing's come from Connor McDavid or his representation about that, but, I mean, come on. A guy could dream, right? And so that's why I have McDavid top of the list. Everybody, all 32 teams, will have McDavid at the top of their list, including the Oilers. The other guys I want to talk about, Quinn Hughes. Obviously, Vancouver's season last year did not go the way anybody expected. There was the fracture in the locker room that involved Quinn Hughes. And they got rid of what they figured was the cancer in the locker room. And Vancouver did play better-ish down the stretch. But Quinn Hughes is one of the best young defensemen in the NHL. Another one that is going to be top of the list of every team in the league. Like, all 32 teams are going to want Quinn Hughes, including the Canucks. So, again, these are dream trade scenarios. I don't expect any of these to happen, but I would love to see it. And so a package for a guy like McDavid is one we've probably never seen before. We had the Mikko Rantanen trades last year, but, I mean, you'd have to, like, quadruple the return that those teams got for Rantanen to get a Connor McDavid. For Quinn Hughes, it's not as much. He's not as big of a megastar as Connor McDavid. So a good, solid NHL-level player, a top-of-the-line prospect, maybe two, and then a bunch of first-round picks would have to go back to Vancouver to pry Quinn Hughes loose. The leader in the clubhouse, from what I've read and seen and heard, is the Devils, obviously going to go join his brother there. But, I mean, Utah has a cap space, they have the picks, and they have the young talent to be able to trade for any of these guys. If Ryan Smith, the owner of the Mammoth, goes to Bill Armstrong, goes, all right, let's go for it, and just go. And so having Quinn Hughes would be amazing. And then I have Artemi Panarin here from the Rangers. He's got a massive contract that I don't think Ryan Smith wants to absorb. And he's another left wing. Utah is kind of stacked on the left wing. Clayton Keller does play a lot of center, but I feel like he's more natural on left wing. And Tijigin is a left winger. Danil Butt is a left winger. So adding yet another one with a massive albatross of a contract, hanging that around your neck, I don't see that happening. But Panarin is instant offense. He just scores. Is what he does. And that's what Utah lacked last year. Is just instant offense. So that would be another dream trade. I don't see the Rangers trading him. He's key to what they're doing over there in New York. But that would be another dream trade scenario for me. So that is your Utah Mammoth Daily update today. Let me know in the comments who your dream trade is and what games you're looking forward to seeing this year. And I'll see you tomorrow in the next update.